gosh.
Hello.
We're live! Woo! Hey everyone! Guess what? The Working Daily Show is live. We're here. This is so cool.
I know.
We're so excited to be back with you all. I have to remember to look in the camera, which is up there. Otherwise, I'm just going to look at Ariella all the time, and you'll think I'm not looking at you. Who do we have in the house? I'm going to check out. Hey Rob. Hey Sylvia. Deanne. Ada. Seguero. Todd. Good to have you all here.
Welcome.
Lots more people coming, I'm sure, in a minute. So this is the new half-hour talk show that we're going to be doing every week for Work It Daily. We've got lots of fun stuff on tap for you today and some super cool slides, which thank you, Lindsay, who produced our incredible slides. I say we get started, but the basic gist of it is we've got some stuff we want to show you, and then at the end we're going to take some questions.
Yeah.
Sound good?
Yeah.
All right, let's get this party started.
Let's do it.
Master of the slides. So there it is. Work It Daily, where career goes to grow. Don't you love our new tagline, everyone?
We do.
We're super biased, but we love our new tagline. So, okay, what was our first topic?
Our first topic.
I had to check my notes. Must reads. Okay, so we're going to be talking about must reads. So this is where we're going to let you know some of the biggest and most tractioning articles on our website every week. We're producing new content every single day. So if you're not a newsletter subscriber, you should go over to Work It Daily and sign up. But these are a couple of articles that were really, really big hitters. Lots of people, sharing them and talking about them. Then we've got an interesting water cooler topic, and then finally the Q&A that we talked about. So
yeah,
that's it. We'll get started.
All right, must reads. So this week, the top article that we want to discuss was 10 fast-growing careers to watch in 2020. And this is actually very fascinating. If you took a look at the article, I think we'll pop it in the chat if you didn't get a chance to look at it, but you'll just see some of the fastest growing jobs and careers, for the next year. So.
I know. I'm going to ask everybody in the chat, before you look at it, if you didn't see it already, what do you think the #1 most popular industry was out of the 10? I was doing some math on it, and it looked like almost 6 out of the 10 jobs are in one particular industry. What do y'all think it is? We'll see if anybody gets it. Drum roll. You should be able to get it. It's a hot topic these days, but maybe not. Oop, tech? Nope, it's not tech. Isn't that interesting? It's kind of a curveball, but it's not tech. Yep, Andy got it right. Shout out to Andy. Healthcare. 6 out of the 10 jobs were related to healthcare. There were some jobs related to solar and green, so that green energy area, and then info security and statistician. So if you're good
that was interesting, huh?
Yeah,
I can see the other two. Healthcare, I mean, you're always going to need healthcare, right? So that's always going to be a big industry. Clean energy, I can see that as well, looking for alternative sources.
Definitely. And the stats thing, too, I feel like data analytics and all that's going on these days seem pretty popular. Definitely. But check out that post because it's not just, hey, why is this job top? They talk about medium income, education requirements, things like that. So if you're a potential career changer, you might want to check this out.
Definitely. Yeah, if you're looking to explore other fields, industries, this is a great place to start because it really is jam-packed with info, so you can at least dive in and get to know a little bit about the roles in the industry.
Yeah, some great hyperlinks too. Cool.
Yeah,
so that was one big one. Actually, the biggest one of the week. It was huge, the traction on that. What did we have for second one? The second must read. 5 things every employer wants to hear in an interview. So
yes.
I thought this was great. So again, let's see. If you can think of one thing that you're sure that an interviewer would want to know, what do you think it is? Pop it in the chat. Let's see if you guys get them right. I wrote down the 5. Can you remember any of them?
I remember the one of them. Yeah,
one of them.
Because it's really relevant to a current situation. So.
Ooh, all right. So give that one away. Go ahead. Tell us.
All right. So this one is one of the points in the article is about loyalty, being a loyal employee. And, one of the topics here that we wanted to kind of go over a little bit was like, what does that mean? Like, what does loyalty mean as an employee?
Absolutely.
So that was fascinating to me.
I know. I don't think people understand that when you're in an interview, the employer, whatever you say about your former employer, your former coworkers, the person interviewing is going to assume that you would say those same kinds of things about them once you worked for them. So it's really important that you find your way to be fair and balanced and transparent. I mean, we would never want you to lie in an interview, but I recently had an experience and I was kind of venting to all of them where we're hiring a bunch here at Work It Daily and I was phone screening and the candidate really just had the most negative attitude all the way through it. And when I asked, what are you looking for in an employer? The response was all about an employer that understands work-life balance and is really good to their employees, but it was the tone and the approach. And I gave this candidate a chance to kind of rebound and go into some other areas, but the so fixated on this. It was just so negative. And then that proceeded to go spiraling into what was wrong with the former employer, which that loyalty card. So you have to be careful about what you say. And that's why I love practicing with our Work It Daily members on their behavioral interview questions, because it's easy to kind of get sucked into that for sure.
Definitely. Also comes in, like, the branding piece comes into play, because that tone, actually, you would be surprised at how something as small as that can really hurt your brand and your reputation, because you automatically think something about a candidate, and it might not be true, but you want to make sure that you're thinking about your brand and how you're coming across, and how you're talking about your former employer actually says a lot about your brand.
Totally agree. So the 5 that came up, see if you got any of these, was you'll never ask me twice. So one thing you should be conveying is that, hey, when you ask me to do something, I'm going to do it, which makes complete sense. If you've ever had somebody not do something, it's pretty frustrating. Next one was, I will meet and exceed expectations. I agree with that one. This one was interesting. I am teachable, meaning I take critical feedback.
I love that one.
I agree. I don't think people think a lot about that process of, am I open-minded? Can I handle it when somebody gives me feedback, or do I get emotional? The am I loyal, which we talked about. And then the last one, am I agreeable? So are you pleasant? Which goes back to that piece of it of, how are you coming across? Your tone, your body language, your facial expressions. Good opportunity to tell you all, if you've never taken our communication style quiz, we have a quiz that you can take for free over at Work It Daily. It's a 20-question online quiz, and when you're done, it'll tell you your predominant communication style in the workplace. And it's not only important to understand that, but it's important to understand the other 3 styles and how you might be different from them. Because if you walk into an interview and you're one style and the interviewer is the polar opposite, it could be a real struggle to connect and to convince them that you would do well in that environment.
Right, absolutely.
Have you ever interviewed with your polar opposite?
Yeah, absolutely. All the time. I talk to people all the time, polar opposite, and it's fascinating since I took that quiz and I've learned so much about it. I'm a contemplator, so understanding how I might be coming across to other people and understanding how that can come across negatively has really helped me change my approach. But it's also interesting to learn about what other people are doing, and, like, I can tell you're an energizer, right, or an empathizer, and I know exactly what you mean. Like, you're coming across differently. But it's interesting.
True story. When I interviewed Ariella for this job 7 years ago, I still remember her coming in, and I was really intrigued because it showed on her resume that she had been homeschooled, and now she was in college at the time. And so I was really fascinated by that. But seriously, what sealed the deal, so she comes in, and she is a contemplator, so she was very poised and collected. And then I asked her about her hobbies, and she says, I'm a fencer. And I was like, that's it. You hang out with swords. I need to know more about this. And it was funny how she opened up and talked all about fencing, and we just had that connecting moment, and it was history ever since. So weird things you remember about interviews. But
no, it's funny how, like, when you're talking to someone in an interview, just side note, one thing can set off like a whole total mood change, and, like, conversation just happens.
One thing, and that can work good or bad.
Yes.
If you've ever had it go in the bad and you just can't rebound, right? The disconnect, it's so tough. So we get it, folks. It's hard to interview. So check out this post, because 5 things every employer wants to hear. These are safe bets for sure. We'll totally sign off on that.
Definitely.
Awesome. All right.
What do we got next?
So we're moving on to water cooler. Okay, this is more controversy. This was a really good one. So over on YouTube, we posted in the community, we asked you a question. We had one of our writers here, Aaron, wrote an article about Antonio Brown.
AB.
If you are not a sports lover, a football lover, you might not know who Antonio Brown is, AB, but we are both familiar. She's an even bigger football fan than me. I am by default because my husband loves football, but I think we have the comment. I'm going to post it up.
Yes.
The Antonio Brown conundrum, which is how important is fit into a company culture. So the article, which you can check out in the link, was all about, when you bring somebody who has this really disruptive personal life going on and actually has done some, they were moves in his best interest. Let's put it that way. So to give you a story, he left one organization and went to another. And before he even started with the organization, he pushed to be released and came to work for, the Patriots. So 3 organizations inside of a year. So he's changed jobs 3 times. There's some controversy around how he handled those departures. And so the big question is a guy or a gal with that kind of reputation and who has made those choices going to fit into the organization or not? Does it matter? He's talented. I mean, he does a really good job. Doesn't matter. So I don't know. What's your gut take on that?
So I have a lot of thoughts on this, but I feel like I really think cultural fit is very important in an organization. That said, you can be a high performer, and if you're not really a fit in that, you're going to disrupt, you're going to cause problems, you're going to ruin the dynamic. Again, I think it also comes back to the brand. How is that brand of that person coming across to customers, potential clients,
right?
Also other teammates? Like, how is that going to affect that? So
right.
while you could be likable, you could be a high performer, but if you're coming into an organization and you're not necessarily like the perfect cultural fit, it could cause problems. I don't know.
Absolutely.
What do you think?
Well, it's interesting. We actually asked for some comments on our YouTube channel, and I think we have a couple of them if we push this forward. Can you throw that slide for? So a couple of highlighted comments here. Both of these individuals talked about this idea of culture fit versus sort of inclusion fit. And in the HR world, if I throw my HR hat on for a minute, there's a lot of talk about this right now because companies are gravitating towards corporate culture and being able to define culture and making people feel very included. It's very tribal. And done right, that's an awesome, powerful thing. You want to come to work every single day. Done wrong, and it becomes a lot of unconscious bias, a lot of hiring discrimination, everybody hiring the same people, which can create problems in an organization for sure. So I always struggle. I think corporate culture and building a culture is important, but I think a lot of companies don't really pay attention on how to build an inclusion culture, which got brought up in these comments, which I was really excited to see on our YouTube channel. One of the things I challenge everyone on is that the reason companies build corporate culture and they look for similar people is because of the harmony. If we can't all get along and feel relaxed and comfortable, we're not going to do our best work. We're not going to want to come to work every single day. So I think the idea behind culture is really sound. But you have to make sure you don't take it too far to the extreme where it becomes cult-like and it literally backfires.
That's what I was just about to say. I feel like it's a balance, because if you're too focused on culture, it's going to be essentially a club that's probably not the most efficient because you're hiring people that you just like who can't necessarily do the job right. If you're just going with the high performers, you're going to probably end up with a toxic culture.
Right.
So it's really about balance there.
It is, and so it becomes even more important for all you, the job seekers and the career growth, individuals, to be thinking about where you work. Do I fit? And where I don't fit, is that okay? What am I doing to mitigate that? Because it does really matter. Now, in the case of the Patriots, which I think is interesting, they bring Antonio Brown on. They have a history of bringing on people that have this kind of background and have had some success bringing those people into alignment. It's almost like they become not different people, but they recognize the rules and the values of the organization, and they have so much respect for it, they don't want to mess it up. And I think that's really interesting.
I love that about the Patriots, honestly. I like that they can take players and then kind of like Josh Gordon last year.
Sure, yeah.
Taking players, bring them into their new, like, this is how we do things, or you get cut.
Yeah.
And honestly, they are so successful that you want to change.
Right.
I feel like I'd like to think that, at least. So they are fascinating to me as an organization because they can take people, change them, and make them succeed.
Yeah, leverage their strengths, minimize their weaknesses, bring out the best in them. So I think ultimately that's what you're looking for. In the best organizations, you're identifying and you're hearing stories of, they made me better. You don't need to be the best at a company, but if they're together, they're the best, we're the best. That's the culture I'm always looking for. Because then you don't have to be the star child or the super player. You just know they're going to make you better, and you're going to have all these great teammates, and you're not going to want to let them down. So
right, exactly.
That's my advice there. But it's a great article. It's a great thing to think about from when you're thinking about corporate culture. So check that article out, and check out the comments on YouTube as well.
Awesome.
Cool. All right. Here comes our favorite part. Here comes our favorite part of today. Tell them the good news.
So we are so excited to announce that we are upgrading Work It Daily, new and improved facelift for our site. We're very excited. If you are a current member, you've been thinking about trying us, this is absolutely the time to check out the new and improved Work It Daily. It is so much better, and it's built for career growth people. People focus on their careers, but also want to connect with other people. It's essentially like social media, private social media for your career growth.
Yeah,
it's
totally.
Awesome.
I mean, the way I look at it, and I know you're going to bring it up and give everybody a tour, so we'll get that rolling up, but my 2 cents on this is that, we're not a community, we're a club. This is a career growth club. People join a club to level up, to up their game, to be motivated by teammates, to just bring it every day, and also to have a really positive experience. You don't join a club to be surrounded by people you don't like or respect. You join a club to really be, rub shoulders, in this case, virtual shoulders, with people that are going to make you want to get up and bring your A game every day. That is what this platform is designed to do. And it's incredible. And it is so robust. You'll have us in your back pocket. You'll be engaging. You'll be able to meet people in your local area. You'll be able to meet people in your industry, in your skill set. We are going to be facilitating networking events online unlike anything you've ever seen before. And I think that's what I love, because LinkedIn, you need LinkedIn, don't get me wrong. We need a place where everybody's profiles are public, where you can go and research and learn about the kinds of people you want to meet and who's at what company. You need that. But where LinkedIn leaves off, we pick up and we run with. And that is, how do you have meaningful conversations with people who want to have meaningful conversations? Isn't networking frustrating? You send a connection request and you hope somebody responds back to you on a LinkedIn. And what vested interest do they have in talking to you or about your industry or your skill sets or anything, right? They don't. It's just not what it's been built for. This program, that's what it's been built for. And not to mention, it's staffed with career growth specialists, all trained by us in-house, who will review your resume, your LinkedIn profile, your cover letter, your interview prep. They're there to give you the right answer at the right time. So think elite level coaching, amazing teammates, right? Community members, but it's a club. And then all our tools, all our videos, tutorials, everything you need in one place. And then add in that networking component.
Yeah, I mean, it's incredible.
It's everything people are complaining about that they don't have. It's social media that is not only fun, it's rewarding. That's why you work it daily. You are going to be addicted to coming into this thing, and it's going to be way better than the time you waste liking and looking on Facebook or Twitter, and even on LinkedIn to an extent. This is going to be the game changer. So
honestly,
that's it. We got to see it. We got to show it to them really quick.
Right. Let's show you guys.
Show you the platform because it's so beautiful. I'm talking visually beautiful.
Here we go. So this is the new platform. This is the dashboard that you're going to see when you log in, and it's essentially just a personal news feed that you can see. You can see what other people are talking about, all this great stuff. You can post your own, photos, questions, anything that you want to here. You can tag us so we can see it. You can do a ton of stuff. It's essentially, if you are on any social media like LinkedIn or Facebook, you're going to know how to use this because it's built essentially the same way. It's just more, it's private and it's more focused on career growth.
Absolutely. Show them that. So one of my favorite areas is the topics. If we click on that.
Topics, yeah.
So you can go in and follow any topic. So if you really want to get better and know and understand these sorts of things, you follow a topic, you can post questions in there. We'll be posting information in there. Tons of people joining the topics already.
Yes.
Events is a huge one. I mentioned events. So the Work It Daily show, they can come in here and sign up and get automatic calendar reminders. People are already starting to set up happy hours. So starting to find places locally where Work It Daily warriors want to get together and hang out.
You can RSVP. How cool is that?
And connect. Yeah, create your own events. So
see who's going, calendar reminders. It's
all of
really
it.
Cool.
Industries, this was another big one. So when you come in, you tag yourself and you can immediately find all the people that are in the same industry as you and start networking with them. And we'll be adding new industries all the time as more people come in.
Absolutely.
So you'll just see this grow and grow and grow. And then there's groups. So we started with a set of core groups. Are you a career changer? Are you a seasoned pro? Are you a recent grad? Are you mid-level career? Are you long-term unemployed? Are you executive? But we're going to be adding a heck of a lot more groups. Like somebody today said, can we have a data analytics group? Can we have a marketing group? Yes, yes, and yes. There are going to be a whole bunch of groups in here. But unlike the groups on LinkedIn where, there's just hundreds of thousands of people and nothing's really happening, these groups are being moderated by our career growth specialists. And we're going to be able to host live chats. So imagine like weekly chats where everyone checks in, meets one another, talks about hot stuff going on in their industry. We're going to be able to host events within these groups. All the stuff that you can't do in LinkedIn, we're going to be able to do for your industry and skill set.
Yes, it's going to be awesome.
Yeah.
You guys are going to be addicted to this. We are already addicted to the platform.
Well, and my big thing about this was we don't all have the money to go to every expensive networking event. We don't all have the time to go, after a full day or whatever, to these different events. But we still have a whole bunch of people that want to have really good conversations, get to know each other, and network. And you can do that online if you know how to do it correctly.
Right.
But no platform in social media right now is doing that. No one in career. So this is going to be the place where you're going to be able to do that. And I would rather see you come in here and spend 10 minutes a day, attend a session or two a week, and get way more networking career development done than you ever got done on your own, trying to go to random events in town.
Seriously.
Right?
And we teach you how to do it.
I know.
So that's even a bonus.
And you can do it like in your PJs as
Yeah.
opposed to putting on the fancy outfit and, drink. I mean, there's nothing worse. I still hate going to events where I know no
Yeah.
one. And I've got to try to talk to somebody. I'm usually hiding in the corner. Seriously, nobody likes that stuff.
Yeah, and this is more intentional networking, like we've been talking about. It's not just showing up to an event and just hoping for the best. It's about, I want to connect with people in my industry. I want to connect with other career changers with similar goals as me, people who are having similar challenges as me, so I can, continue to work through this process and get where I want to be in my career.
Yep, that's it. So here's the best news, is the pricing. So for the next 2 weeks, as incentive to get everyone to move to our new platform, we are doing crazy low pricing that will never come back. And we're not kidding. And I'll tell you why we're doing this pricing. So our old platform would not allow us to simply migrate over to the new platform. Why would they, right? We're leaving the old platform, going to the new platform, to be honest. So we have to make everybody re-sign up in the new platform. And when they sign up and put their credit card in, we then go in and unsubscribe them for our old platform. So that's what's going on with our current subscriber base, because we've got thousands of people in the old program. We're moving them to the new program. But for all of you on YouTube, if you haven't tried us yet, if you've always thought about joining us, you need to do it now, because these prices will be gone in 2 weeks. It's $14.99 a month for the professional, or $99.99 a year. Think about that. That's less than $10 a month for you to be in there all year long. Or at the executive level, which has more functionality and works directly with me, it's $54.99 a month, or $399 per year. Again, really inexpensive. These prices will only be there for 2 weeks, but it was our way to incentivize everyone to make the effort and sign up and get over there. So you can go to the link, you can hop in there. I'm not kidding you. You are going to be addicted. You're going to be so glad you invested. And I'm going to challenge everybody that's watching this. What are you doing to invest in your career? I get it. We get college degrees, we get education, but what are you doing on an ongoing basis to invest in your career growth? You will not find a better program, and I mean it. This is not me just saying that. You will not find a better program or a more cost-effective one out there right now. You will not. This is it. This is going to be the one in 2020 that you're going to want to join. So
definitely. And that's the thing is, like, you can learn the knowledge and the skills you need to excel in a job, but if you don't know how to actually work on your career and network and have those types of skills, like development skills, it's going to be really hard for you to get where you want to go.
Yeah.
So you don't want to just wing it. You want to be intentional. You want to know exactly what you need to do in order to get where you want to go.
Right.
And we can teach you that.
We can, because it's not just job search inside here. It's career development. It's planning your next career move. It's developing yourself into a leader. We're going to have tools and resources around all of that. There's actually something called the Year in the Life that's been planned. We have monthly themes. We have weekly challenges. We have daily postings of activities for you to do. This thing is mapped out, so fail-proof for you to work it daily. Mm-hmm. Fail-proof. So please come join us. We're so excited, if you can't tell already. But you will not be disappointed. This thing is mind-blowing.
Yes.
Awesome.
Super pumped.
All right, so it is 12:27, and I think we've got a good 10 minutes or so to take some questions.
Yes,
should we take questions?
let's do it.
All right, so I'm going to, we're going to move this over. We're doing our own production, so bear with us, team. All right, so you know the drill. If you want to ask a question, the one thing we ask is that you put the word question in all caps first. That way we can kind of pick it out of here. In the meantime, big shout out to everybody that's jumped on. I love all the comments that we've been seeing here throughout this, so thank you. Questions, comments, feedback, we love them. So thank you, and thank you everyone that is already members that are jumping on here and sharing their experiences. That really helps people that are on the fence about doing this to come in here and see what's going on. That really helps as well, because I think sometimes people go, what is this? What do you mean that there's this private career growth club with career coaches, and what do you mean it's in my back pocket? Well, if you join us, you will learn all about that and a lot more. So.
Definitely. And I love Sylvia's comment. I feel like my life is about to be transformed, and you're so right. It's going to be awesome.
You are so right. I'm addicted. So we went live yesterday. I literally had to turn everything off last night. I couldn't stop getting in there. And anybody that joined knows, because I was commenting to everybody last night. I couldn't wait to just chat with people. We didn't have that same functionality in the previous plan, so it's amazing.
Yeah.
All right, we've got a question from Wendy. Hey, Wendy Kim. Wendy says, how do you find out if you fit company culture during the interview?
Great question.
How about it?
Well, the first thing you want to do is first do your due diligence on this company. Go and look at their Glassdoor profile, look at their social media accounts, connect with people who are already working at the company and ask good questions. Like, what do you love most about this company? What stands out to you? Why did you decide to work there or go and pursue this opportunity? Those are going to give you valuable insights as to why this company is great to work for, or they could drop some reasons why it's not the greatest place for you to be.
Absolutely. Glassdoor, I've known them for a long time. I've done a lot of work with them. And the one thing is that you're always going to see more negative than positive comments there, because studies show that when somebody's had a bad experience, they tell 17 people. When they've had a good experience, maybe they tell 5. So before you go over and write a company off because you see some bad comments on Glassdoor, please read all of them. Look for the balance. And I think when you go in, there are questions you can ask. In fact, we have this awesome video, which I know Lindsay will pop in there for you, called the 8 questions you should ask in an interview. And we break those down by figuring out the job, but also figuring out the fit. So a couple of the questions in there are about, tell me about the best hire that's been made recently. Why are they a great hire? Why are they a great fit to the organization? On the flip side, tell me about somebody that didn't work out recently. Why did they not make it in the organization? And then sit and listen to the answers to those questions, because it's going to tell you a lot. Like if the company says, oh, we're all about work-life balance, and then you say, well, tell me about the best person that's been hired. Oh, they came in and they worked 60 hours a week to get that project done, and they were here every weekend.
It's really telling, isn't it?
Right? Something's wrong there.
Yeah.
We're work-life balance, but you're complimenting and saying the best person works 60 hours a week. This is what I mean. And you follow your gut. And the best part about this is when you go on the interview and you ask these questions, you then come back into the Work It Daily platform. You go to your career coaches and you message us and say, here's what I experienced. Here's where something's not feeling right. Because when you have these experiences, don't try to make the decision yourself. If you're not 100% that this is the right place for you, there's probably a good reason for that, and you need to talk it through. So don't take it lightly. Ask great questions. Do your homework. That is first and foremost. Ariella's so right. But come back and discuss it with other people.
Definitely. And actually, I feel like every day we get people coming in saying that they've got offers or interviews and they have this gut feeling that it's not the right thing for them. Once they talk it through with us, they realize what it is, and they go and pursue a better opportunity for them, which is really, it's helpful. Sometimes you do have to talk it through in order to realize, oh my gosh, that's why this isn't the right place for me.
Totally. Awesome question. Okay, question from Andy Perez. I had a second interview where I was one of the 2 remaining candidates last Friday. I was told that I would hear from them at the beginning of this week, and I have not. Should I send a follow-up? I did a follow-up email after I thanked them last Friday and the interview. Okay, so you did the right thing. You did the follow-up. I'm going to grab this one and say it's Wednesday. I would not do a follow-up email. I would do a thinking of you email. So what do I mean by that? I would go find Andy an article or a video online about a topic that you talked about in the interview, something timely, and I would just send it to the person and say, hey, this video came across my desk today, or this article popped in my inbox, and I thought of our conversation, thought you might really enjoy it based on what we discussed. So what you're doing is showing what it'd be like for you to be a teammate. So you're sending value first. At the end, put a PS. Simply say, PS, if there's anything else I can do to further my candidacy, let me know. Right? What I don't want you to do is say, I'm just checking in. I don't know if you all know this, but there was a study about this. When people put the word I'm just, what you're really saying is you screwed up, you didn't follow up with me, so I'm having to do your job and checking in with you. That's how it gets interpreted. So we don't ever want to do that. I'm just following up because I haven't heard from you. Don't go there. Instead, send value and send the PS that says, is there anything else I can do to further my candidacy? Please let me know if there's anything else I can do. That's all you do. Send it off. And then I would wait another good week and a half to 2 weeks before you do any more.
Yeah, I love this strategy because it's not, when you get a message from somebody asking for anything, doesn't it feel like a weight is on your shoulders, especially when you have all the other stuff they need to do? And so when someone actually takes the time to say, hey, I thought of you when I was reading this article, it feels so much better, and you instantly have more respect and a likability factor for this person, right? So great approach. I love that.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. That's an awesome way to put it. All right, Nabil says, how can I know that I'm a professional or an executive? What time shall I jump from professional to executive? And the executive plans will it be beneficial? Oh, that's a great question. So, a couple of the biggest differences in the executive versus the professional program of Work It Daily. Executive is really designed for people that are at, director level or higher. They generally have people reporting to them. They're in a leadership role, key leadership role within the organization. And these are individuals who, by default, want to work a little bit more strategically on how they're going about their opportunities or dealing with certain players. So for them, working directly with an executive coach feels like a better fit. So the executive program is staffed with executive coaches. Right now, I'm actually taking the lead with all the new members in the executive program. They're working with me directly, and as we expand, they'll work with an executive level coach who is familiar with people who have got to work at that higher level, who have people reporting into them, and you know who I'm talking about. So when you start to hit that level, you would want to move to that group. The other thing we do in there is we have a few extra events that we do during the week. They're live Zoom calls. So we actually get on, and all of the executives that are participating turn on a camera, and we're together. We're together in a Zoom call, in a very intimate platform, talking about our pipeline, talking about challenges that we're dealing with, and giving each other executive advice. So it's a little bit more higher touch. It requires more time, and therefore it's more expensive. And that's why you're seeing a higher level price point. I will tell you, for the majority of people that come to Work It Daily, the professional level is the way to go. It's cost effective. You're going to get access to a whole bunch of group events. You're part of a large group of people, lots of people participating, and it's budget friendly.
Yeah, absolutely. And there's so many resources, and again, like you said, so many people in there that you can network with. You know, it's a great level for the person who's not looking for that more strategic, intense type of thing. It depends on your goals, honestly, and where you're at in your career.
Yeah, totally. Another question from Wendy: how accurate are company reviews on Glassdoor? Recently, I interviewed with 2 companies that had 2.5 ratings. Have a 3rd interview next week. What are your thoughts? My quick thought is that, remember, these are only as accurate as how many people have given a rating, and a lot of companies aren't still paying attention to their Glassdoor feed and realizing that they need more reviews. They need to have some of their current employees review. So, if the company's a 2 or lower, I'd be concerned. But a 2.5 to 3 is considered average on the Glassdoor platform. So I would still go on those interviews, and I would evaluate for yourself.
I would also look at the dates of those, because they could have made some big changes, and that, like you said, they probably just haven't addressed any of those. More and more companies are going in and commenting back and addressing certain comments from former employees, telling people that they've made certain changes. So definitely go and explore. If you don't feel like it's the right fit, you don't have to move forward. No. But it's definitely a good thing to keep in the back of your mind, but definitely check out those dates.
The dates is so smart. I didn't even think of that, but it's true, because they could be 2 years old, in which case it's null and void. Great point. Deanna's asking, is there a test in the new platform that will tell me what industry is best for me?
Ooh, great question.
Very good question. So Deanna, I don't know if you've taken the Career Decoder quiz yet, but that quiz, it's a free quiz on our site. You don't actually have to be a Work It Daily member, folks, to take that. You can go over there and take the quiz. It tells you how you like to deliver value on the job. So there's 8 different ways that you do that. That's the first one I would have you do. But then the second one, if you go inside the Careerism Guidebook, so it's a book that I wrote before we even started this. I have always referred people to Dr. John Holland's RACIC model of career interests. And we have a link to a website that you can go to and take the test for free. And it will show you what your preferred career interests are. So you need to message me inside the platform after this. I will post that link for you and show you where to go to take that quiz. It's awesome. I recommend. We wouldn't build one because there's no need. I think this tool is fabulous. It's free. It's the perfect tool to help you start looking at industries and careers that will match you.
Definitely. And along with that, so the Career Decoder is going to help you figure out what your natural strengths are, like JT said. The other thing you want to be thinking about is what types of industries and fields interest you generally. Like, do you have, a ton of family members in healthcare, for example? Do you have a natural respect for that? Maybe it's something you might want to pursue. Or have you always wanted to be in a certain field? You should go back and look at that and think about those interests and explore those industries for yourself, just to see what's out there.
It's funny you say that, because you're bringing up the bucket list concept. So one of the video tutorials that you'll do inside the job search plan inside Work It Daily, we have you identify the companies that make your bucket list, and we have some criteria and a tutorial that teaches you how to do that. But after that, we then have you look for patterns. And for years I've been doing this, and you start to see patterns. People, all the companies you picked are in energy, green energy, or they're all in like high profile customer service, or you love to work with luxury brands. There's just patterns that you see. So that would be another exercise that we can point you to inside the Work It Daily platform that would help you as well. And just going back, it's Dr. John Holland, Holland. You can Google search him if you want to, folks. It's called the Career Interest Game, but there is a particular link, there's a particular site that has created a free version of his that I think is awesome, and I will be sure to share that inside the Work It Daily platform after this session.
Awesome.
Let's see, what else do we have here? I don't want to say. If a company has been there for if you have multiple professional associations, sorry, I don't want to miss Momo Ed's question. I love that name, by the way, Momo Ed. If you have multiple professional certifications for the same role, should you list them all?
I mean, I think you have to look at the specific job and say, you know, what's the most relevant for this particular service that I'm going to be providing for this particular role? Do they require certain certifications? You know, really want to think about that so you're pushing the most relevant information, requirements, and everything else in the resume.
I agree. We teach you something called the top fold in our resume tutorial and template, and you can put certifications in there, but we have you put the most relevant, and then we show you where in the additional experience you can put the additional certifications. So that way you could have them all there, but basically parsed out in the right place on the resume so that they're just seeing what they need to see.
Yep.
Because I'm with you. If you list everything and they're not relevant, it can work against you.
It's overwhelming.
Exactly. And that's the thing so many people don't understand about resumes. You don't want to put everything in the kitchen sink in there, because if it's too much, they will sometimes assume it's narcissistic, it's over the top, you're too qualified, that kind of thing. You really want to pare your resume down and only have the relevant data and give them just enough information so that they call you. I always joke and say, if someone calls you and says, I saw your resume and I need more information, ding, 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 you did it right because you got a phone call. Versus people create these over-the-top resumes and they don't get any phone calls at all.
That's the thing. You want to make it easy for them to find what they're looking for quickly, because it's only a matter of seconds between the yes pile and the no pile.
Yeah.
And if you're making them dig through all of your awesome accomplishments for the ones that they need to see, it's your chances of going in that no pile are increased.
Yeah, so true, so true. Okay, so we've got time for 2 more questions and we've got to sign off. One from Nabil. He says, I'm working on my startup, planning to leave my job soon. Which Work It Daily resources can be more beneficial for me?
As opposed to professional versus executive?
Well, even more so. So that's a great point. So Nabil, I would definitely say if you were in the executive program, you would be surrounded by other executives who are used to startup culture and could share a lot around what you're doing there. If you're in the professional, then I would tell you to work on the personal branding course.
Definitely, absolutely.
We have an incredible personal branding course. It tells you how to pull out the entire brand for your startup as it relates to you as the owner, and then how to brand yourself in all your social media channels, your resume, your LinkedIn profile, everything. So that would be the course that I would have you go straight to inside the Work It Daily platform and then work with the coaches on that.
Definitely. I would also recommend the networking course, because you're going to want to network with other people in that field, you know, get some exposure, learn how to do that well. So that would be the other course I'd recommend.
Yeah, absolutely. And then one last quick question is, if you are already in the program and you want to upgrade as an existing member, what do you do? Well, if you're in our old program, folks, just again, so you know, if you're in the old Work It Daily program, all you have to do is sign up to the new Work It Daily program with these great prices right now in the next 2 weeks. When you do that, our team is looking to see if you were in the old program, and they're deactivating you and canceling that subscription for you automatically. So that's all you need to do to upgrade. Once you're in the new program, let's say you get in and you join professional for the $14.99 a month or the $99 a year, and you decide you want to upgrade to executive, you can inside the program, and it does it for you automatically, which we love.
Yes,
So you can upgrade, downgrade at any time inside the platform. It's not a problem.
Absolutely.
All right. Okay, so I think we're going to sign off now. We do have one question. How much will Work It Daily be after October 1st? So just to give you an idea, it's going to be $29.99 a month for professional, and it'll be $74.99 a month for executive. So prices are going way, way up on both platforms. And then each of the annual subscriptions will go up by $100 as well. So it would be $199 a year, or it would be $499 a year. So if you want in now, whether it's monthly or annual, I would tell you get in now, folks. Again, this was just to help people move over, but we won't keep the prices there. You're going to see the value, and you're going to see why. Even at those new prices, there's so much value in this thing. It's incredible.
Definitely.
I mean, if you're paying for a LinkedIn membership right now, I'm telling you, again, I love LinkedIn, but I would challenge you to come over and spend a month with us and see which one you're getting more value with, because we're really going to make sure that you get the best ROI.
Definitely. Absolutely.
Cool. All right. Well, thank you for letting us share. Next week, it's going to be all about the best, again, articles of the week. We're going to have topics of the day and a lot more Q&A on the end. So I hope you guys come back for that, as well as some other fun stuff. But we'll see you next week. Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you, guys.
All right, everyone. Thank you so much. Take care. Hope to see you inside the program.